Hey guys, what's up and welcome to a new Tesla update video. So today we had a surprisingly wild day, I must say. A very bullish day, very odd. I didn't really expect this at all, at least especially not this soon, but this is why I always say you want to be nimble and not be over greedy in markets like this, whether it's to the upside or to the downside, right? So all that being said, though, as usual, guys, if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit that like button. I just came back from the gym, so I'm a little bit out of breath, literally 2 minutes ago. But as usual, this is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. Make your own decisions. Do your own research. But, ladies and gentlemen, Tesla literally closing at $197.64, putting us up almost 8% on the day. Pretty much closing at, I mean, not the high of the day, but damn close to the high of the day. So all in all, a pretty surprising day. I'll be completely honest. This is this was that 20% I was talking about that I honestly didn't expect. Well, I mean, not yet, but it's it's looking pretty damn good for that scenario right now, right? That 20% that I mentioned that I definitely didn't think was the likely chance of playing out, but hey, that's why sometimes you have to be nimble, right? That's why I let those bullish positions, like I said yesterday, remain and let them run. I did exit out most of them today. I still have a little bit left, and I left those as essentially as runners, if you will. But yeah, all that being said, guys, keep in mind though, pumps like this into a day like tomorrow, just be careful, right? That's all I'm going to say. Just be careful. It's hard to predict, of course, naturally, right? But we have the FOMC meeting tomorrow and the rate hike decision tomorrow at 2 o'clock, followed by Jerome Powell speaking at 2:30 Eastern. So, keep that in mind, right? Keep that in mind. It's very important to consider the fact that, we are running up into such an event. And, it's not just Tesla, guys. We had some reds here and there, of course. But for the most part, it's a pretty bullish day. Like Tesla, 8%, Google, 4%. Apple's a little flat for the most part, but Shopify 4.5%, Square 4%, PayPal 5%, SoFi is 7%, Robinhood 6%, Snapchat 7%, right? You even have like Ape running 7.5%. Just keep in mind, right? All these EVs running like XPeng, Neo, right? 8 and 6% respectively. It's just an overall pretty bullish day, but especially for Tesla because we also Tesla got included into kind of blanking on the name. I was thinking about it all day, then I'm going to bring it up. And as I'm bringing it up, I am absolutely Moody's, I believe, upgraded Tesla to a higher investment grade, now actually just barely above the threshold of what is considered a junk grade. So that's good. That's actually really good. It's not like massive, like, S&P inclusion, for instance, that Tesla had like, a couple of years ago or whatever now. But it's still good. It's definitely more positive than negative, that's for sure, right? But all that being said, taking a look at the technicals very quickly, or not very quickly, but the rest of the video, we're going to be kind of guessing, or not guessing, but I mean, I guess guessing, but trying to predict essentially what this means moving forward, especially, right? So all in all, the RSI on the 1 hour still doesn't look that bad, right? It is obviously in the overbought situation, but it's still looking more bullish than bearish to me now, especially after today's move, right? Yesterday's move was very uncertain still for the most part, and it's, in my opinion, it did look a little bit more bearish than bullish. But again, we did bring up the fact that there's still definitely a chance that we get a run up, very, very soon. I don't think it'll be this soon, honestly, but sometimes it can happen like that, right? So this is that scenario essentially playing out, and because the RSI is overbought, that is potentially asking for a bit of a pullback. So I'll explain what I personally believe will happen moving forward for the next remainder of the week. I would say roughly, potentially even next week. But because we're overbought, again, I expect a bit of a pullback relatively soon, most likely after either into the FOMC meeting / decision, or after, really. I do expect a bit of a pullback coming up. But with that being said, after today's movements, I do strongly believe that, the bullish thesis has been repaired, if you will. You know what I mean? Like, it was looking pretty demolished back here. It was not looking great, constantly getting rejected by 21 EMA. It really wasn't looking hot. Like, it truly wasn't looking hot. But either there's like a bit of a short squeeze in the market, or I'm not really sure what it is exactly, honestly. But the bullish thesis has been repaired. I wouldn't say it's fully repaired, but man, it's looking a lot better than it did yesterday. So keep that in mind, right? But essentially, what I personally expect now to happen is most likely a retest potentially of the 21 EMA as it kind of continues following us, and then I think from there, I think we will continue moving upwards. I actually do think that the overall thesis that I talked about, where we get that triple top, is most likely going to be playing out now. The scenario of that playing out is a lot higher. But most importantly, we talked about this yesterday. We will quickly remove the drawings, but we made a parallel, if you will, to this situation back here, right? And I said how this right here seems like almost identical. Like, it's so ridiculously close as to what's happening right here. It's like it's kind of insane, actually, honestly, right? It's so damn close. So think about it, right? So we had the sideways action over here, massive run up, massive run up. We had a little bit of a high over here. We had a bit of a high over here. We pulled back. We pulled back. We ran back up to the same level. We ran back up to the same level. We pulled back a little bit. We pulled back a little bit. Had a bit of a run up. Had a bit of a run up. Not to the same level, but pretty close right here and right here, right? And then we had a longer pullback. Now we have a longer pullback. And now we had from there a massive move up pretty much to the same level over here. And now we're seemingly making that exact same move that we had over here back to pretty much this exact same level. But then keep in mind what followed after. And I personally believe that we're... there's that saying in the market where like history, it rarely it rarely replicates itself, but it often rhymes, or it's something like that. But essentially it says that, in the stock market, it's often that history rhymes as opposed to, straight up replicates itself, right? And I do believe this is essentially playing out. Like, it's not literally the exact same thing, candle for candle, but man, it absolutely is rhyming to this situation right here. So just keep that in mind, right, guys? I really want to make that super duper clear that it really feels like it is essentially playing out this exact same scenario. If you want to make it a little bit more clear, I will try to draw it. So check it out, right? So in case you don't really get it, right? So let's see. So let's do this right here. It'll be a little messy because I have all these lines, but I don't want to delete them all, obviously. So, run up, pull back, run up to the same level, run up to the same level. Bit of a pullback, run up almost to the same level, run up almost to the same level. Bigger pullback, massive run up back to the same initial level back here. And now we're essentially potentially doing that exact same thing back to that initial level back there. So, this is, it's pretty damn close. It's pretty damn close, man. It's kind of weird sometimes the way the market works, but I really do believe that we're essentially playing that out right now, right? We are essentially we're like pretty much somewhere around right here right now, right? One of these green candles right here is where we're at, which is why I personally expect essentially what happened here. We had the massive run up, which is essentially where we are right now. Maybe like this candle or something like that. Maybe this candle or one of these two candles right now, probably this one right here, right? But I expect essentially this kind of move down here to play out pretty much like right after FOMC or something like that, right? I expect this to play out. This is going to be us essentially retesting that 21 EMA, which of course is right below us now because we finally broke above it. Let's go and put it back, right? So this right here, pull back, will be essentially this pullback right here, back to the 21 EMA, which is essentially, which is pretty much what it did here. And then most likely retest it successfully and then continue running up a little bit more. Most likely come up to this overall same level that we had over here, this kind of 214-ish level, which is exactly what we did over here, kind of consolidate for a little bit, potentially look like it's going to push further, get some bull traps in there, and then ultimately have a massive sell-off. So essentially this consolidates, potentially go a little bit tiny higher just to bait the bulls a little bit, and then we fucking rip down to this bottom, right? That's what it seems like is going to play out now, right? So that's the main thing I'm personally seeing, guys. It's just sometimes it's very important to look at past I guess candle behavior, honestly, right? And see if you can replicate it in this specific situation, which I really do think, I really strongly believe we're essentially playing that out, right? And this further backs up what I think is going to happen following this as well, is where I do believe we're going to slowly on the 1 hour start seeing bearish divergences set up, where we're going to potentially maybe go even a little bit higher tomorrow, maybe even test 200 tomorrow, right? The RSI is going to go up a little bit higher. And then we're going to have that pullback I talked about, retest the 21 EMA, right, to whatever the level that was. Let me double check what level that is, right? Most likely somewhere back to, somewhere probably back to maybe 190 or something like that. Maybe high 180s, give or take, something like that, give or take, right? I do believe we'll come back down there probably very quickly. It'll be like a massive shock. People will get like bear trap for sure. So essentially we'll go into bull trap, into a bear trap, into a huge giga bull trap, and then we rocket pretty much into Earth's core, right? But that's the main thing I'm currently seeing right now, guys. So that's the main thing I would be personally paying attention to. But the reason I brought that up is because I personally believe that is going to be setting up a bearish divergence, where as we go higher to the 200 first, most likely, then we'll come back down. The RSI will most likely go down pretty aggressively, something like this, most likely, or whatever, right? And then as the stock does this, and then I think we'll go even higher, and I think the RSI will go something like this, but not go higher than we are right now. Even though the stock essentially did, that's going to start the bearish divergence. And I think from there, the consolidation will ultimately play out and then, break down to the downside, right? That's kind of what I'm now foreseeing. So I do believe that there is going to be a little bit of pain first, followed by probably more upside to the 210, maybe 215-ish level, give or take. Most likely set in a massive triple top, like a giga triple top, just really showing some true rejection. You can also argue that, maybe it's like a double top, if you will. You can also argue it's just a straight up double top, right? You can, make the argument. And I talked about this yesterday as well, where it's like this, top, come down, move back up, same level, top, and then go down, right? You can also make that argument as well as in like a, casual double top as well, right? But ultimately, I do think we're essentially playing out what this situation was, where we pretty much did the exact same thing like that. And I think we're essentially, it's going to be the same thing, right? So that's what I'm thinking, guys. Let me know what you think down below. If you enjoyed the video, of course, as usual, don't forget to hit that like button. So that's more or less what I foresee happening within the next, week or two, or, whatever time frame it takes. I mean, time frame in this market is impossible to determine. I'll be completely honest, right? So don't even waste your time trying to determine that. But that is what I'm seeing. That is what I'm thinking. That is my current analysis, and that is what I am doing. So let me know what you guys think down below. If you enjoyed the video, again, don't forget to hit that like button. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow. Peace.